We are going to have a social media panel. Who believes that social media is a big part of our world today? Absolutely, right? Now here's a better question. Who believes that social media is a big part of your business today? Absolutely, right? How quickly does social media change their rules? Insanely quick, right? So what we're gonna do is today, I wanna bring up 4 people. Curtis Washington, CEO of Double Vision Media. Grant Wise, who you just saw a little while ago, CEO of Whitley and founder of Real Estate Marketing University. Howard Tager, the CEO of YLopo, and Carlos Vasquez, the CEO of Miami Marketer. Come on up, guys. Give me some music. Come on up. What's up, Howard?
What's up?
You're very elegant, you know that? You just like walked up here and you're like, aha.
Last year I wore a jacket.
Yeah, you did.
And it was like going to a sauna. So this
I'm trying to
year,
tell them
I am
that
the only person up here without a blazer.
We can't see anybody up here. I
Well,
can't see
yeah.
anybody up there because the lights are so bright. You guys don't even know. We're sitting in an oven right now. Like, it's ridiculous. These guys, in like 5 minutes, they're gonna be breaking out. So thank you guys for being a part of this. We just asked 2 very simple questions. How important is social media in our world today? And how important is social media in our business today? And when we talk business, let's forget about real estate for 1 second. Let's just say business in general, right? Because every business is using social media, right? We joke about it all the time. We say everything's listening to us now. I could literally think bicycle and it'll be the next ad that comes up on my Facebook run, right? And it's the craziest thing in the world. And guess who would be running that ad? Amazon.
Probably.
Right? And it's just it's that powerful. It's so powerful that you can have conversations about it, or you can begin to type a question on Google, and Google will know, based on how many people have asked that same daggone question, right? It'll start filling in the blank for you. It will already know for you, right? So one of the things that I want to ask you guys right off the bat, and we'll just go let all 4 of you answer, is what are some of the newest things on social media right now that people need to know for their businesses? We'll start with you, Howard.
So I think I always think about like, who's in the audience, right? So how can we help you that's actually, gave up your time to come here today? So one of the things that I was thinking about was not everyone in the audience has, $1 million, $10 million to go spend on, TV ads and dominate the market with radio and all that. But you have the money to constantly be in front of your entire geographic sphere on social media. So you just need to ask yourself, every day, are all the consumers in your geographic sphere, all the towns that you work, every day, are they seeing you? If they are not seeing you every day, then you're failing on social media. The average consumer is checking their news feed on Facebook almost 13 times a day. And you can very cost effectively be in front of them. So I'm like, that's a really high level, not a granular thing. It's a really high level thing. So I'm gonna kind of start there. And the other thing, before I kind of pass the mic, is we always think about new leads. I actually blame Zillow and Realtor.com for teaching this whole industry about sort of dehumanizing a person and calling them a lead and training everybody to like sell that lead this week or they move on. And I want you to think about social media, especially in Florida, because we're here in Florida, right? So, especially in Florida, where you have a lot of out-of-town buyers, well, those people don't live here. So social media sometimes is very incorrect, and I'm a social media company, right? So I'm like not selling myself, right? It's sometimes in vacation markets, it's the wrong place to start. But where social media is so amazing is no matter where that consumer lives, and maybe they're in Michigan looking in Florida, right? Canada looking in Phoenix, or they're here, it's once you know where they're from and what they're looking for, now enters your social media. Right, now you want to get in front of them with the right listing at the right time.
Isn't it funny how everything comes full circle though, right? Like, you guys know social media was always about New leads, new leads, new leads, new leads, new leads, because that what was driven into us. But now all of a sudden we're full circle again. Now it's follow-up is key.
Yeah, through
Which follow-up
through
has
remarketing,
always been key, but now we're saying use social media for that.
through remarketing and retargeting, get every single person relationship you know into your system that you now can remarket to them. So every single person at an open house. If you have 5 people on your team, guaranteed they all have 1,000 friends. Boom, you have a 5,000 person database.
Yep.
The most effective, cost-effective remarketing campaign in the world.
Grant?
I think that one of the most powerful things about social media is its ability to create influence. And we see this, I think, like most predominantly in politics. So if you look at like the recent campaigns, recent elections that took place back a few years ago, and all of the all the stuff that came from that, new policies, new structures, we've just seen such a different world. And I think if you haven't watched, there was a Netflix show that came out called The Great Hack about how social media platforms are using data to influence movements, world movements, Brexit,
yeah.
and in these different types of things. It's a really fascinating thing. We were in Long Beach a couple of months ago, and somebody asked, what would be the number one thing that I could do today that if I woke up in 2 years, I would be so happy that I did that? And my answer was that if you were looking at doing something like that, it would be building a personal brand. I think that would be the number one thing that you would be ecstatic that you did. And thanks to the technologies that we have available today, if you have a database of 5,000 people, you can plug that into a custom audience, and literally for $1 a day, less than $100 a month, you can be in front of your database, your book of business, your tribe, your clients
Very
every
consistently.
single day
With different messages on top of that.
with relevancy.
Right.
With current events, with what's important to them, with local community-oriented content that these big brands aren't going to walk into your community and create a highlight about the farmers market, right? That's just
Right,
not going to happen,
right.
at least not currently. So you have such an opportunity to continue to grab attention, which is the currency in a lot of people's worlds today. So I think that if you're looking at like what's the biggest benefit today or what's the newest thing, I don't know if it's necessarily the newest thing, but what's something I could do today that I'd be pumped I did tomorrow? Create video content, build your personal brand, and make sure that that content is targeted towards the people that you most want to see through things like custom audiences and making sure that your database sees that. I think you'd be pumped you did that.
Awesome. Carlos?
Well, one of my favorite things about Facebook is that it's creepy for the user, but it's a godsend for a marketer. And the reason why is because we really get the power, especially with video views. Listen, there's so many things to be looking at and watching, and to have someone watching a video of yours for 45 seconds to a minute to 2 minutes, this person is engaged. We get the power on Facebook to retarget people who have watched 50%, 75%, 95%, and those are the people that I want to retarget, because if you're watching my video and spending that much time watching me, I think you're interested in what I have to say. So Facebook helps us kind of just find and fast forward to find the people who are likely to want to actually pay attention to us. So Facebook lets us focus on the ones that actually care about what we have to say. So that's effective now.
Isn't it incredible that we live in a world today where if somebody listens to you for 40 seconds, they're engaged? It means they like you.
Oh, yeah, it's called the goldfish economy right now.
I remember
mean,
you used to have a
indeed.
conversation with somebody
Right.
for a while to figure out if you liked them or not. 45 seconds, you already know. Retarget me.
Right.
That's insane. Curtis?
So I always tell people, no matter what industry you're in, no matter what your profession, you should minor in psychology. Because like you mentioned, Facebook and all of these platforms, Google, they're listening. But more specifically, they're gathering data. So if you understand the mindset of your audience, of your customer, you're able to put out content, video content, anything of that nature that's going to capture their attention, and then you can use some of these back-end tools like the Facebook advertising and retargeting tools to target them based on their behavior and predict behavior of people who are going to be in your marketplace. And then one thing to realize too is that Facebook is one of the most used platforms, but it's not the only platform. So using a psychological approach, right? Know who your audience is, where they hanging out. If you're targeting a younger demographic, dabble with Instagram. If you're looking at a more professional demographic, take a look at LinkedIn. Look at ways that you can put your message in front of these people, and then always have a place where they can go like a call to action, someplace they can go to input their information. I usually say, like my man was talking about, have a funnel. Give them a free piece of content so that they can give you, and it's free, I put air quotes, because it's in exchange for contact information so you can get with them. So I always say, know the message, know the people, and get into their minds so you can predict their behavior on the social.
And we're going to tap into that a little bit. How important is video right now?
So yeah, video's great. I'm really digging what you said because I majored in political science but minored in psychology and wish I had majored in psychology because I'm with you that it's so important. Video, look, we're releasing our DIVA, I think it's kind of a cool name, DIVA platform in Q4, which stands for Dynamic Video Ads. One of the problems is that we see agents spending so much time, energy, and money producing videos, but the rub of it is the short attention span theater, these videos time out really quickly, right? So we're trying to create a platform where agents create hundreds of, they don't have to create them at all. Like, we just automatically pull from the MLS, automatically create videos, hundreds if not thousands. But think about where this is going, what we're gonna be able to do for agents. Let's say you set a listing appointment, and now you're smart, you're like, you know what, I'm not gonna set this listing appointment for tomorrow. I'm gonna set this listing appointment for 5 days from now. Why? Because in those 5 days, you're gonna make sure that the owner of that home sees your videos every day. You've already won the listing before you walk into the house. You wanna pitch FSBOs and expireds? Those folks are gonna see you every day till Sunday, right? And they're already gonna be familiar with you, so you're gonna win it over the competition.
And
so video is critical. It's also critical because your dollar is gonna go, Facebook and Instagram, they're gonna reward you so much. Your dollar is gonna go so much farther with video. And we're working right now hand in hand with Facebook on this next generation product.
Awesome.
Because they want everybody spending on video.
Awesome. Grant.
How many of you actually run Facebook ads? Please raise your hands because we can't see really good up there. How many of you actually run Facebook ads? How many of you were dealing with the fallout of Facebook's recent changes when HUD sued them? They announced you were losing demographics, you were losing location, you had to abide by certain things. Going a little bit different direction, I mean, when you put out video content that's relevant, it's a big brand play. It's why people run commercials forever. It's why we've constantly paid attention to those things. One way to get around some of those restrictions is by leading with just good, valuable video content that has nothing to do with you selling somebody a house. Maybe it's a community review, it's a restaurant review, it's something like that. You don't have to worry about restrictions if you're running good pieces of content that aren't real estate related, because that's really where the complaint is coming from. And so if you were to run, if you were to run a video, maybe you were still wanted to figure out how you could farm. Well, if your content's not about real estate, you're not necessarily bound by some of those types of new TOS updates. You could run a video maybe about a local community update, or you interviewing the principal of the school that's in your farm, or something like that. It has nothing to do with real estate, and then retarget the video views for real estate content. So you're still generating leads or interactions or relationships at an incredibly low cost, but you're able to get around some of the new restrictions that have been imposed on you. It's still, though, just remember, it's not about real estate. It's about the community. I always say community over commission, right? Pay more attention to your community and create more content like that. And when you own the market, I love the new product they're getting ready to roll out. When you own the market that way, everything that he just said, you win before you ever show up, because all the relationship, selling and closing deals are two different things. Selling is the passing along of information. If you educate somebody on who you are, what you believe, why you believe it before you ever show up, you're signing paperwork when you get there. You're not selling yourself for an hour, then selling your listing for an hour. It's just, that's a very tactful thing that I think that you could do. But
I think people need to be
Grant is
tactical
right
in
on.
this
So
business, right?
very specifically, like we've got a client in San Diego who you guys all know, and he is all about food in San Diego. Restaurants, you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
Restaurants, food, San Diego. Nothing to do with real estate. He's got the biggest badass database, and guess what? He sells a lot of real estate.
He retargets some with real estate. Look, I always tell people, you want to get more sellers, do a video and teach somebody how to sell their own house. It's basic. Right. It's basic, but you can it's an educational video. You're not even selling them your service.
One of the greatest ways to build a service-based business is to teach and educate and then simply justify. When people see how hard it is and how much work it is, they're going to turn around and hire you. And this isn't new. I mean, if you guys look at a guy you probably all mostly follow, Gary Vaynerchuk, this guy's gone out and literally taught everybody how to do everything. and then justify to these major corporations why they should just let him do it instead of them trying to do it on their own. So like piggybacking on that, teach and educate and then justify.
Well, here's the thing. I have a saying, you can always give away the farm because a city slicker will always come back looking for help. So if you tell somebody step by step how to do it, chances of them actually doing it.
That's a really good
you know what I mean?
paraphrase there. I like that.
That's how Best Buy and the
You're invited again next year.
the Geek Squad. That's how they actually got their success, because they ended up creating videos to teach how to fix your own computer.
Right.
And then they said, you know what? If you don't want to deal with all of this, just go ahead and we'll take care of it for you.
Right.
And that's the strategy.
Right,
So-
because people think it's easy to sell a house and it's not.
Right.
It's a process. So if you do a video that teaches somebody, first of all, I would make that video an hour. I'm not even playing. It would be an hour-long video where somebody doesn't even want to watch the whole thing. And they'll just say, look, dude, I'm all right, I get it, I'll call you.
Yeah.
Right, does that make sense?
Right, absolutely.
Okay. Automation, we don't have much time left, but I do want to get into automation. How seriously should the agents in the room or professionals in the room be taking automation and putting things in a process where it funnels, or, I mean, there's funnels, there's CRMs, there's drip campaigns, there's all kinds of stuff. How important is automation in today's business and game?
Well,
Howard's like, there's Ylopo, there's
well, the deal is that you don't want to get stuck doing all that manual work. And people are expecting stuff right away. And you need to follow up when people are ready, not when you think they're ready.
Nice.
So when people start visiting certain pages, exhibiting certain behavior like, hey, let me check out the pricing page, or let me check out the contact page, and they visit a calendar page, they're interested in taking action. So you want automation to follow up. Hey, is the calendar working? Is everything okay? I noticed that you went to the calendar, or maybe not too creepy, but at least you have the automation following up at the right time because they're showing they're ready. So automation is powerful because you get to follow up when that person is ready. That's why it's powerful.
Carlos, we love you, bro. Automation, bro.
Hey, what's up, man?
Changed my business, man. That guy right there, bro.
Thanks, bro.
Go ahead,
I'll pay you
Howard,
later.
You had something on that.
So I think the biggest piece of advice I could give you going forward is make sure that you own your own home search experience. Right now, most agents out there have abdicated the home search experience to Zillow and Realtor.com and all these multi-billion-dollar companies. But you don't have to worry like they do about the entire nation. You're only worried about your geographic area. It is vital for you, if you care about this, if you care about digital marketing, which if you don't care about digital marketing,
Yeah,
you have a problem.
It is what it is.
Okay?
Yeah,
But if you care about digital marketing, you can send all the branded messages about you and your family and your brownie recipe and all that. But the number one thing that consumers want to do is what? They want to look at homes. And if you think it's different, you're kidding yourself. So they could be looking out on Zillow, right? And Zillow's going to go sell that 5 ways to Sunday or take 35% of your commissions. Or they could be looking on your branded search experience. Then what you need to think about is every single person that you meet at an open house, online, Grant generates it for you, whoever, get them all into this incubation system, right? Because we now have what we didn't have 10 years ago. We now have dynamic remarketing. We know exactly what they're interested in. We're going to get them that relevant listing every single day. Now, a lot of these people are not ready. Don't think about them as a lead you need to close today. Think about them as a lifetime relationship. When they are ready, they will start looking at homes on your site, and you will know it. And now with AI, where we're going in the future, which we'll talk about tomorrow,
Right.
now automatically, without you having to do anything, a chatbot can actually communicate with them, start a conversation that you then can pick up. So we've automated the entire journey, which we didn't do 10 years ago. We've automated I say relationship generation. I hate the word lead. Relationship generation, the nurture, constantly bringing back to your brand and your site, not to the big portals, and then automatically, this is where we're going in the future now, the automatic conversation starters. At the end of the day, this is not going to replace you. Automation is not going to replace you. It gets you right up to the point of that conversation where you turn off the chatbot and you start talking to them, right?
At that very moment when they respond back to you and say, yes, I would like to go see this house, after the chatbot has been talking to them for 320 days already.
Think about the time that's going to save you,
It's an enormous amount of time, and I think real estate agents and business professionals in general need to get extra serious about their digital game. And and listen, guys, if you pull anything away from this, there was a lot of great information up here. But let me dial down on a couple of things. Create your own systems. Learn social media well. Sell your farm, right? Sell your farm. Think about something other than look at this cool house I have for sale, right? Sell your farm area. Talk to the local business owners in your area and get them on video and put them out there. Do interviews. Have fun with it. Don't worry about big budget productions. Let's get into video. Don't worry about big budget production. This right here, as a matter of fact, this ain't even the newest one. The newest one is a killer video camera. Killer. You hold it up and you take a video of you talking to somebody, or you ask somebody politely to hold it for you while you have a 5-minute interview with somebody, and you run that ad and you get it out there. The other part is something that Howard said that's very interesting and that we do, is put yourself in the position of who you're trying to attract. I want to know what it feels like to be targeted. So I target myself. I put myself on my own drip campaigns. I add myself to things so I can see those emails come in and see what they look like and make adjustments and pivot if I need to. Does that make sense to y'all, Ra? Hoorah?
Hoorah.
All right.
You mind if I add something just real fast?
Sure.
Don't automate the things that don't need to be automated. I think it's really important in business to understand that just because you're in business doesn't mean you need to be the person doing business. And a lot of agents get so caught up in, I have 2, 3, 4, 5 deals going on right now. I have all of this work. I can't go do the things that are the highest and best use of my time, which is nurturing relationships, the things that are actually going to help you grow your business in a big way. So don't try to automate the things that you shouldn't be automating. Technology is not going to replace you. I absolutely agree. It's meant to leverage you in a way that you can focus on the things that are the highest and best use of your time. So make sure you're analyzing those things in your business and paying attention to that.
Awesome, man. Thank you, everybody, for
Mind if
being
I
on.
just say one
Sure,
quick
sure.
thing here? Listen, if any of this stuff up here sounds like gibberish or Chinese, or if it's just like over your head, do like Marshall Silver said, and just take action now. Just turn on your phone, do a live video, post something, get the ball rolling. Somebody will jump in and help you.
That's awesome. Thank you for that. Thank you, guys. Appreciate
thanks.
you. Give these guys a round of applause, please.